So let us know. But let's go ahead and start talking about the first match of the day. It's compLexity versus Virtus.Pro. And I feel like we're going to be saying this a lot. Both these teams need to win.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's just a common theme. We'll be repeating it throughout the day, so apologies to the early viewers. You guys will be bad over the head multiple times.
They need to win.
That these teams are in a must-win situation is the term that we're going to be using a lot. Yeah, they could still make it. compLexity could still make it if they drop this series. I believe if they win 5 games, they're guaranteed in.
Yes.
But if they don't, say they lose pretty convincingly, only getting 2 games out of the 8, then they're in a position of weakness if other teams end up doing a lot to gain ground on them.
Yeah. But let's go take a look at the match format as we're getting close to game number 1 here. Each team submits 9 unique decks, 1 for each of the 9 classes. Before the match, they ban 2 of the opposing team's decks and then pick 6 out of the remaining 7 to play during the match. Of course, it's best of 11, as we've come to know on the Trinity Series, using last hero standing, which means the losing deck is eliminated from play while the winning deck is automatically queued up for the next game. And we have a little bit of a bonus this week, Dan, in that we just had changes come on Tuesday, just yesterday. So teams really haven't had much time to prepare. A lot of these teams were up at very late hours, considering yesterday was the last day of ladder, trying to prepare decks this week and try and predict what was going to be the popular decks, what was going to be good, what was going to change. So we could see some interesting things this week.
That's right. 7.1 has come out here, and we're going to see if teams adapt to it or stick to the same strategy. I'm expecting a halfway split here, TJ. I think 4 teams are going to be the ones innovating, and then 4 teams might be the one on the conservative side. I think we have 2 a little bit more conservative teams here. Yeah. I do think Pirate Warrior is a very common band that we're still going to be seeing because I don't think it's been impacted nearly as much by the small-time Buccaneer nerf as Shaman and Rogue have been. But because aggressive strategies have been hit, Miracle Rogue actually gets a lot stronger because they're not nearly as dependent on that compared to the Shaman as well.
Yeah, and we already see a little bit of a deviation here with Paladin being excluded and Hunter going to be played for Virtus.Pro.
Okay.
And of course, Shaman left up. Shaman got hit the hardest because of Spirit Claws change also. Spirit Claws and Small Time Buccaneer were both relative staples in a lot of the aggressive builds.
Right.
But at least we'll get to see some Hunter play today, potentially from Virtus.Pro. And we'll see if any of the other decks, if that trickle-down effect from the nerfs affects, maybe we'll see more aggressive play from some of the decks which we haven't seen aggressive play from.
Yeah, I anticipate Shaman to slow down. I think either one of 2 things will happen. Either you play the aggressive Shaman anyways, and just have it as a 1/1 small-time Buccaneer, hope your opponent can't remove it early on, which is a lot worse against everything. Even Priest now has better answers to small-time Buccaneer because they have Potion of Madness. Prior to it, patches and small-time Buccaneer coming out, Priest couldn't really deal with that efficiently. But maybe the opposite happens. Instead, Shaman slows down. They play mid-range Shaman. Mid-range Shaman started taking out Totem Golems and Tunnel Trogs, TJ. Now they can finally have a reason to put it back because maybe the small-time Buccaneer package is too weak.
Yeah, maybe it is. And maybe we'll see decks moving away from it. But one thing's for certain, guaranteed to see some shakeups today. Before we get into this match, I'd like to just go over pretty briefly what these guys need as far as their playoff bursts are concerned. compLexity, you mentioned earlier, a win guarantees them in. If they win the match, they are in the playoffs at a 4-2 score. If they win 5 or more games in the series, so if they lose 6-5, they're also in. Or if either G2 or LG lose their match, then they're in. So compLexity is very, very likely to be in the live finals. Virtus.Pro has it a little bit tougher. They have to win versus compLexity and rely on LG losing their match. Or pretty much every single other team that's tied with them in the standings right now has to lose, because VP has a good amount of game score for their record. So it's the pressure, I think, is on both teams here, but it's even more so on Virtus.Pro because they have a lot to worry about, even if they win this match. So it's going to be big, but we're going to start off with Hunter versus Paladin. compLexity has been pretty predictable with their Paladin start in the past few weeks, and Virtus.Pro is going to capitalize with a Hunter open. Yeah,
Hunter does tend to get the edge against Paladin because they can't deal with their efficient minions. They can't deal with their minions efficiently because of things like Savannah Hyman or even cards like Rat Pack, Infested Wolf. Those things are really hard for Paladin to take down because the Paladin's got great single target removal. They've got great AoE clear, but Hunter kind of has the awkward midway point. Sometimes you want to clear a big minion, but then he leaves behind stuff.
Yeah, double deadly shot in the build. We've come to expect that.
I think that's tech against the Finja.
Yeah, it's Finja. Also, just the big 8 drops that you see. We've seen the Zoth Hunter be pretty popular just because against decks like Paladin, it's basically like a win condition. No matter how low you get the Paladin, as soon as you hit N'Zoth, even if you just bring back a Savannah Highmane, usually they don't have the removal to be able to deal with it. And as long as you can get that before they kill you with anything can happen, you're probably going to win the game. So we'll see if that's in the build for Virtus.Pro, but right now we're going to go King Zealot. Maybe we'll get it up. Whoa, speak of the devil.
Well, Paladin knows what's coming at the very end of the stages of the game. Now, Virtus.Pro, they have to figure out how to get to that turn 10 most effectively. They have Called and Wild on 9. They have Rat Pack, but there's a huge gap missing between turns 4 to 9. They have a coin to help assist with that. compLexity, having that Loot Horde in the build makes a world of difference. If this King Zealot is attacking you every turn, your clock is fastened significantly. So, or quickened. Excuse me. Fastened's a different term. compLexity picks up the Wicker Flame Burn Bristle though, and that card is really effective against Hunter as well. Except it lines up really well into the Deadly Shot, which is something that Virtus.Pro will be flirting with if that ends up becoming the case.
Yeah. Now, one thing that Hunter has traditionally struggled with is decks that curve out. And maybe Paladin could just curve him down. If they can, get off to a good start.
Maybe?
Yeah. Or that. But, if they Wicker Flame into Barnes picks up something impactful, they can start whittling down the board with Choose Over Champion.
That's a good point. The draw does, in fact, impact Barnes. Say compLexity trades and plays Silent Vigil. What if they draw the cards that they want to get from Barnes? So Barnes actually gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
For holding on to it.
It's definitely a risk to draw and not be able to pull out Finja, for instance. But let's go and listen to Virtus.Pro now. They're facing some tough decisions.
No trade.
Is it?
It's not so awesome. It's never deadly shot here. It's a Red Pack or Animal Companion.
Yeah,
And I
but
like a
Animal
Red
Companion
Pack
doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, just play Red Pack.
Yeah, but do you hit?
No, probably no.
I don't think so.
But you can play around Consecration.
Yeah, he plays Consecration.
I think
Then
we
yeah, we just
hit.
I think we just have to hit. I mean, Consecration, yeah, it's gonna be bad. Pretty bad. I think yeah, you just have to hit. They were thinking about playing Acolyte or playing this drop.
Yeah, what is it? I mean, the Barnes seems super appealing, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they
So
run like knife jugglers and such?
No,
Doesn't really matter, right?
no way. They're running the Soth and King Zealot.
Yeah, they just play this. Yeah, I would just play the Barnes probably.
Oh, yeah. Please don't get a Doomsayer. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well,
If you
I
get
Is
Doomsayer-
Doomsayer even too bad? Like, if you get Doomsayer...
It's not too bad. We can just trade a loot for the win.
Sure.
Tonight, a tale of wonder
We
and
do it. Okay, that's fine.
Just go face.
Yeah, I would just hit face. If you say he wants to have tempo, we should really try to pressure him in there.
Yeah.
Do we play our own Barnes? Kill commanding Barnes is an option as well. Probably kill commanding Barnes is a better play. But if they go, yeah, I mean, hopefully they're gonna go to Finja the next turn. And yeah, this way we're gonna be able to deadly shot and maybe coining out the Animal Companion. Like playing Barnes right now, if we get Rack and we hit 3-4, it's gonna be awesome. But if you don't hit Rack,
I'll kill Command Barons.
money,
That seems fine. Was Barnes the card they kept?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Well, Virtus.Pro trying to stabilize on the board a little bit. You know, not something you often hear in this matchup, especially this early on. But compLexity is off to a great start. Now they just have to start drawing through their deck, and they got plenty of ways to do that.
Yeah, right now they have a 1-mana Solemn Vigil, plus the Loot Hoarder draw itself. You can cash in the 2/1 to start off with the Loot Hoarder, see what you draw, and then work backwards from there. The thing about Virtus.Pro's hand, too, is that they actually do have some Death Rattle synergies with Barnes and N'Zoth. If Barnes picks up Highmane or Infested Wolf or anything else, really, then N'Zoth summoning 2 or 3 Death Rattle minions is enough. You don't need a huge wide board of 7 minions. If you have just 10 power, 12 power onto the board, that sometimes is enough to challenge the Paladin.
Yeah, N'Zoth does get fooled by the actor that Barnes pulls from the deck, in the fact that if you pull out a 1/1 Highmane, when N'Zoth is played, it brings back a full Highmane. It brings back the 6/5, the full big boy there. So compLexity is going to go with the play with the Acolyte of Pain.
Ooh, nice draw there from Virtus.Pro, being able to quick shot. They can start off with Animal Companion as well to see if they get hovered, then they don't need to necessarily quick shot.
Yeah.
The thing about the coin is that because you have Call of the Wild, oh wow, big time roll there from Virtus.Pro. I guess they have to wonder if whether or not 1 health matters on Huffer versus having 2, but I think this is still a better case scenario.
Yeah, and they're definitely okay with taking it slow because they know that they have that late game in the bag as long as they can limit the Murlocs. But now let's go and take a listen into compLexity and see what kind of game plan they're cooking up.
That's
Yeah. I would Loot Hoarder, Doomsayer, and Hero Power probably, or what is it?
Is it ever consecrate? Consecrate into something?
Oh, it seems so bad.
And
I mean, what is
Dooms
so...
down turn 7 so we can get Tyrion on turn 8 out?
But isn't it better just get the initiative now? We still have all the Murlocs in there. It really blocks his turn off, and if we just develop next turn, we can just play next turn the True Silver, start hitting the face, then drop the Tyrion. I don't think it's so important to set up that turn 8, you know?
Yeah, I actually agree. So Loot for the Doomsayer Hero Power?
Yeah.
I agree.
Mind if I roll need?
It's not also entirely about our turns. Like turn
Also
6.
about that turn.
Yeah.
He still has the coin, right?
Yeah, they're probably going to keep the coin for Call of Wild.
N'Zoth, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that.
6. Probably Baron's Kickshot. I don't like.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You like that idea?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of maybe just pass in Hero Power.
No, we're just gonna finish the game with N'Zoth, right?
Yeah, what's wrong with passing? Just Hero
They can
Power.
go finish the hero power.
Yeah, if they finish a Hero Power, we're gonna quick shot and deadly shot.
Yeah, and pass the turn again. And like.
I mean, in Barnes, what are they gonna play if they clear the board on the next turn? Don't have anything to play, right?
I think I like Barons.
I like passing. Funny.
Tonight, a tale of wonder and magic.
Oh, wow. You can also trade Solemn. What is that?
Yeah, and then most likely play a 3-drop.
Let's think.
We have a high chance to get a 3-drop, but we should probably trade Loot Hoarder first.
Trade rate Pyro Solemn. Yeah, just trade. Oh, is it?
No, it's trade, then it's choose with 3/4, then Solemn for free, and then hit a 3-drop, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. How bad is it if we trade a Loot Hoarder into the Barns and then the 1/1 into the Barns and then Pyro Solemn? Isn't that just better? We keep a free one as well?
I wonder.
Wait,
It's 5 mana. It's
yeah, then
you
it's...
only have 2 mana after that. No, I don't like that.
Yeah. I
the
like this
other
play
line.
more, trading. Then we have only 2 mana and
Do
we
it,
can
do it
probably
now.
only
It's good.
Hero Power.
Do it. No point in roping now.
Sure.
I think we play Pyro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
compLexity is off to a great start, and Virtus.Pro just feels like they're drawing dead. You know, what Naaman was saying had a lot of merit last turn. If they were just to pass, play it slow, then they would have had to play this turn regardless. They could have just Barnes if the board was empty or, you know, even in this position. But now they effectively do nothing. They can kill command a wild Pyromancer and play a 2-1, and that's their best play. And they talked about how N'Zoth was their win condition, but right now N'Zoth is just bringing back a Rat Pack.
Yeah, this is exactly what Naaman was talking about, and I mean, you can start to see a lot of the dissension between Virtus.Pro's opinions. You know, two guys overrode the one guy, like Bunny Hopper and Dr. Hippie said, "Let's play Barnes." But Naaman's the guy that has piloted Hunter many times to the top 10 legend ranks. So, should you trust a guy who's just like the expert and really should understand how this plays, or are you going to take a democracy opinion and ends up getting you punished sometimes?
Yeah, Dr. Hippie pulled the outranking there. He said, who made it to the finals of the World Championship last year, huh? Huh, Naaman?
Is that what they said?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Hippie gave a little bit of smile, and
I think it's because of what happened with the Barnes. They got Desert Camel, which is like one of the only 2 minions that doesn't have a Death Rattle effect.
I thought Dr. Hippie was just being like, you know what? I don't care what Naaman says right now. I'm just going to go with the play that I liked.
No. I think it was because he played Barnes.
I see.
And then Desert Camel came out, and it's like, wow, one of the 2 minions that doesn't have Death Rattle on my deck, besides Hot Master, I guess, 2, so 3.
But let's go now listen into compLexity, as it's a big choice between the 8 drops here.
Yeah, we should pressure the face because the quality will die to our board clear at some point, right?
Yeah, I agree as well. I'm just thinking if the bubble is important, but they probably have the early shot anyways.
That's what I think.
And against the call, for example, we have the board clear, so...
We also get the Ashbringer, don't forget that. That's 15 damage already.
Yeah.
Put your faith in the light.
There's no reason to kill a 2-1, right?
There's small reasons, like small, but I'm pretty sure it's just better to go face here. It has to be.
Deadly shot.
Probably no as a play.
Yeah,
No.
just give it a bit.
Such big teeth I have.
It's only Rat Pack and this.
Yeah, I just like the Light Lord still.
Light Lord and smack the face.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, compLexity might just win this game without ever even using Murlocs or Finja, or anything can happen here. Yeah,
probably using weapons.
Yeah, I mean, they're already approaching lethal damage over the next couple turns with just what they have in their hand. They could smack with Ashbringer for 2 turns, and then on turn 10 or turn 11 or whatever, Murloc, Warleader, Bluegill, and Consecration is just enough unless Virtus.Pro puts a taunt in their way or kills them. But at 30, it doesn't look like that's going to be an option.
I wonder.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Virtus.Pro picks up a Rat Pack here, so Rat Pack helps bring back another Death Rattle. So how many Death Rattles are going to be total?
Well, right now it's just the Kindly Grandma that's on the board and 1 Rat Pack that they played earlier. So it'd be 2 Rat Packs and a Kindly Grandma if they were to play this one, which is pretty weak because those get swept up by AoE. Not easily, but much more easily than, say, a High Main would, since it spawns the 2/2s and it has much more health. So you have to use like Quality and then another board clear. But
so do you use Call the Wild here instead then?
I guess so.
You get 3 damage from the injured Cavaldier and 5 from the Huffer. Which you trade in pretty nicely. Protects your health as well. Forces a board clear, and most importantly, gives you an ability to take proactive initiative against your opponent. Because if they play a reactive turn with Wild Pyromancer, they generally don't have a very strong board to follow it up, unless they have Murlocs, which happens to be in the hand of compLexity. So, what's the best way to go about this to clear?
I wonder.
Well, they could go with the Murloc play and then just like play the safe play and kill the Leok. Or they can try and just pressure for a win and just use equality and then just start hitting face. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Quality consecration and set up for potential lethal.
Yeah. It's possible, but let's go ahead and hear it from compLexity as they debate this turn.
Pyro, Murloc, and then heal. Forbidden healing.
Wait, what? Pyro?
Equality
Pyro?
first, then Pyro, Murloc, and then Forbidden healing.
Move quickly.
I like that. I think I like that. Play equality, Jagd. Play equality. Then play the Pyro and both Murlocs. And then play Forbidden Healing on your face. And then attack the face. Did you get it?
Yeah, but how's this better?
Because you keep a free bit. It's better if they have a second Call of the Wild because you can still lethal him. Because now we can't
I was just not sure if this was really better. That's why.
It's better because you have lethal through the second Call of the Wild.
Exactly,
because now you can trade one minion in, consecrate, and then kill him. Yeah,
there we go.
Come on. Merkel.
Playing Hunter, lol.
Yeah. Nice counter cue, Katja.
Really nice play there by compLexity. I was pretty hidden. I didn't actually expect them to go for that specific order. I was thinking more of consecration clear, or just to get the damage in originally and then save the Murlocs. But they're presenting the board threat to get multiple turns of damage in, and that was covering all bases. So a really good job there by compLexity.
Yeah, that basically secured them a win regardless of what happened there with board outcome. You know, if they get the damage in first and they Call of the Wild makes it so that they wouldn't have developed enough minions and Call of the Wild makes it so they can't get through that less taunt for the Misha. So compLexity gets a huge win in game number 1. That is effectively a counter matchup. That's why you bring the Hunter to beat down the control decks like Paladin. And even though compLexity has been very predictable with their Paladin opens, and Virtus.Pro read them like a book, they weren't able to take that favorable matchup. Great play from compLexity. And now they're 4 game wins away from making it to the live finals. A win would just get them in automatically, or 5 game wins. We want to keep stressing that. So Virtus.Pro, they got to find a way to go back in this one. They can't lose a lot of games to this Paladin deck like they have in the past against some other teams, because that'll just put them in such a rough spot with unfavorable matchups later on in the series.
And don't sleep on Virtus.Pro too much just yet. They were a team that was down last week as well, and making a big comeback with Reno Warlock and Naaman spearheading all that the effort. I anticipate that they'll be able to do it again. Taking a look at how their decks remain, they have Priest, Mage, Druid, Shaman, and Warlock. Well, Shaman immediately sticks out to me as potentially as the deck to pick, especially if you play a mid-range version. You have Hexes to deal with the Murlocs, Hexes to deal with Tyrion if you need to. You can also push the tempo. Yeah. Force them to board clear when you don't really have much of a threat. Cards like Mana Tide are problematic for the Paladin because their single target removal is mainly like Peacekeeper or Choose Over Champion. If you have a single taunt, like a Taunt Totem, it's really hard for them to clear. Yeah, that's definitely the case. Since the Shaman decks have slowed down. They're still choosing the deck right now, so as soon as Virtus.Pro picks, we'll get into the game. But one deck that we've seen a lot of teams choose in this situation is Priest, because Priest doesn't necessarily have too many other great matchups. And, you know, Priest can pressure. They can also just get anythings from Draconid Operatives, which means that they can always pressure that win condition. And we've seen teams play around the possibility of the other team getting anything could have from Draconid Operative and making, you know, suboptimal plays because of it. So just the you know, psychological aspect of it as well can put your opponents, you know, off kilter. So yeah, it's interesting to me that a lot of people consider Dragon Priest to be a pretty good matchup against the Anyfin Paladin based off the stats, but the stats does cover most of ladder, and I don't know if people are playing the matchup optimally. I think it's a lot like Anyfin versus Control Warrior, where you know, a lot of the understandings of the matchup kept shifting it one favored side versus the other. Like Control Warrior started realizing how to play taunts, and then Paladin started playing around that, and people start adapting to it as it goes back and forth. So I do tend to agree with you. I think in the end, Paladin is favored, but that's only if they're understanding how Priest gets their win conditions and Paladin hard mulligans for their Anyfins.
Yeah, hardball against for the NFS because it's crucial in the win condition, and it also means you deny that from there being able to pick up Dragon Operative. But it is going to be Shaman.
But it's not just any Shaman. It looks like it's more of a control Shaman. I mean, maybe. Like, White Eyes and Ragnaros is already extremely greedy for a mid-range Shaman. You don't even need those cards. You can top out at 6 and just be perfectly fine. But having Ragnaros and White Eyes, Virtus.Pro is taking a complete 180 shift from the aggro Shaman that everyone brought the previous weeks.
Pretty cool to see. We're already seeing a little bit of the change-up from the changes that happened earlier this week, yesterday actually. Jade Chieftain, Lightning Storm, Flame Tongue Totem looks to be just a heavier mid-range Jade. I don't know if Jade Control is really like a good way to put it, but compLexity does have a decent opening themselves. They have Loot Hoarder and they have Finja in the opening hand. So,
yep. It's not necessarily that they need like, I guess people used to determine Control Shaman based off of one card, or I guess a combo of cards, which is Element of Destruction and Lava Shock. And that sort of felt like, well, he's playing a Control Shaman. I guess you could throw in Halazeal and a few of these other really defensive cards. But people started cutting those from Control Shaman lists. And really what comes down to it is if Shaman has a way to reset the board with it, which is Element of Destruction. But even if you play a Jade Shaman, it doesn't necessarily mean you're even very mid-range focused. You can still play very long-term, controlling the board, keep Lightning Storms, keep Maelstrom Portals and Jade Lightnings, and make sure that you just remove every threat possible and let Jades carry you in the late game.
Yeah, one card that could change this matchup considerably would be Devolve. If you have Devolve in this deck plus Hexes, you can effectively eliminate all Murlocs. I've actually played this matchup a few times, and if they do run Devolve, it feels unwinnable for the Paladin because pretty much no Murlocs. You rarely have a Murloc deck on the board unless you have all of them in your opening hand. So let's go and listen now to compLexity and see what they think this Shaman might be.
That's actually pretty feels bad, man.
Yeah, play the order.
Yeah, we gotta convert it for a card, right?
The power.
And just hero power.
First hero power is trade.
Don't they want the 1/1?
Oh wait, you wanna want the 1/1 in case there's gonna be the Acolyte. I think you trade first and then you totem. Yeah.
What to do?
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could also just Trog. Because Trog contests everything they can put out, honestly.
Yeah, but the next turn you wanna Trog and Flame.
But if it will be Acolyte.
If it's Acolyte, then it's really good, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess then. Yeah, Trog, yeah. Trog.
There is little time.
Play it Trog, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Trog.
So, yeah, Pyro quality to Finja.
Oh, baby.
This is actually very interesting, isn't it? Because we can decide to keep the war leader here.
Oh, I like Acolyte so much here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we keep the war leader for Finja, and next turn we could draw 2 cards out of Acolyte if he Feral Spirits.
That's what I think.
If he Feral Spirits, he's gonna trade Trog.
But
then I only.
We don't want to trade the war leader. I would play the Acolyte because I think it's bad for us if we trade the Trog into the war leader. Especially the war leader is insane since we have Finja.
Yeah, it will only give us 1 card actually, but...
I agree, I like the Acolyte for sure. I mean, the war leader has some upside against the Feral he would have to trade, but I like getting the Acolyte down, and this is the Hex, right? I mean, the Hex is the thing.
All right, well, compLexity deliberating on Acolyte Pain versus Murloc War Leader here. And they want to hold on to Murloc War Leader for Finja so they get immediate value off of it. You play Finja, the following turn, Murloc War Leader buffs it up and buffs out Murlocs. They pick up their second War Leader. So now their Finja, as long as they don't pick up a Bluegill, in the next couple turns is going to pull 2 bluegills out. Guaranteed. So they can have all their Murlocs out of here by turn 6, turn 5, turn 6, which is...
Yeah, that's really powerful.
It's very powerful.
That's what they want, because the earlier they die, the less chance that Shaman can Hex or devolve them.
Yeah. If the Shaman's only able to Hex 1 War Leader, then that actually can sometimes even be helpful if all of your Murlocs are in the pool, because it guarantees your second anything to get more chargers. As long as like your first anything also doesn't get hexed. Because 4 bluegills and 2 war leaders and a Finja is actually quite a bit of damage. So
yeah, and if you decide to hex the bluegill warriors, which sometimes the situation does call for
sure,
it, but
yeah.
If that's your main strategy and you hold on to it, the anything paladin can just build up a huge board. It just keeps summoning back 3/3s that buff each other, and then they end up piling to a bajillion stats, and you can't actually kill it with lightning storms. So that's why you want to target the war leaders first.
Yeah.
So, Jimny Water Speaker, the card that immediately stands out to me as the strongest tempo play available. You could heal the Flame Tongue Totem and try to put it at a range of any bluegill or pyromancer clear here. But is it worth holding on to the Jinyu for a later turn here, TJ, that I'm not thinking of?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. Usually you just want to pressure as hard as possible in this matchup, and just toteming up here gives him sort of a free turn to develop. If you're rolling into Finja turn, you want to have things on board to be able to contest that are sort of out of range of that. But compLexity just instantly plays to Finja, and that's got to be a little bit worrying for Virtus.Pro, considering they don't have too many polymorph effects at the moment.
And no devolve in their hand either, and they can't even Lightning Storm. Get lucky with Lightning Storm by getting a spell damage totem because they're overloaded from the previous turn.
Yeah.
One of the problems of playing Jinyu that turn 4 was because they locked out that option. So, in this case, what's your best scenario here?
Totem up and hit face. That it just feels so bad.
If you get a taunt totem, the Stoneclaw, would you play the second Flame Tongue to ensure that Finja trades into it?
Yeah.
Is that too optimistic?
It feels a little bit too optimistic, especially since the Finja the buffs are sort of like retroactive with Murloc War Leader. So even if you trade into, if it's at 4 health and you trade into something with 4 damage, as long as a Murloc War Leader is pulled out, then you all of a sudden have a Finja that lives through the damage. But they are going to play second Flame Tongue Totem just to go wide on the board, I suppose. And let's go ahead and listen into compLexity, see how they want to sequence this Finja.
So we probably trade into Flame Tongue with a Finja, play War Leader.
Yeah, I mean, double War Leader and then trade Finja, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually very interesting, isn't it? Because the rough air totem is kind of meh, meh, meh. I really don't like seeing it there.
Yeah. I actually want to kill the...
The 5/6 and the red of air. You could just leave up Flame Tongue. There's no charge.
I mean, a Murloc will die anyway. It's basically just take 1 extra damage on the extra damage on a blue Jill, but therefore they can't Maelstrom, they can't Lightning Storm for sure. I would really like to kill the spell power.
And the 5/6, right, Jinju?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Flame Tongue is not really doing anything.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Right now.
I think double hex. Double
Hex both War Leaders. And we're
Yeah.
cool story, bro.
Yeah. Just do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some.
Oh my god. So we have to win with Tyrion and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not even care about the Flame Tongue or what. Or is it? Can we outboard them now?
I would trade into Flame Tongue and Solemn so we can play a 3-drop like Acolyte, maybe.
You only have one Acolyte.
Yeah, Acolyte, Vicar, Flame.
Okay.
Like at some point we have to kill this anyways.
Sure,
I guess.
we have to kill it at some point. I like it, I think.
don't see 4 damage right now being relevant.
Okay.
I think we need to kill it at some point anyways, and we don't need
Yeah.
to commit into an AoE just yet.
That's
Nice.
interesting. Yeah, I just killed it. Yeah, I think it's alright to kill it. Yeah, I think it's alright to kill it.
The double hex pickup was massive for Virtus.Pro. Now, really shutting down complexity's win condition in the late stage of the game to the point where complexity has to rely on their other minions, such as Tyrion and Ragnar's Lightlord.
But this is about as good as it gets for complexity, to be honest. You know, even though double hex came out, they got it out really early, which means that they understand their win condition now, early in the game, instead of having to, you know, figure it out later in the game. And they also already have the 2 minions in their deck that are going to help them win, which is Tyrion and Rag Lightlord. So even though that double hex on the War Leader is bad, it eliminates effectively one of their win conditions, considering anything can happen. We'll summon now 2 Bluegills and a Finja, which is not that great for 10 mana, at least. Now they understand what they need to do, and they already have the tools to be able to do that. So Virtus.Pro still on the back foot. They're not out of the woods here by any means, but
The weakest Jade Chieftain you'll ever see, summoning 1/1s. This is the first of the Jade Golem cards, which will eventually start building up. It depends, though. We'll see if the Shaman build from Virtus.Pro has Brand Bronzebeard, or if it has a few other cards, such as Bloodlust, to really put some oomph behind it.
Mm-hmm.
With cards like Ragnar's and White Eyes, though, I'm not sure if they do run it. They had to make cuts somewhere.
yes, they did. And we'll see, but it looks like Complexity's leaning towards the Tyrion here, trying to get that online as quick as possible and go for that pressure run. But now let's go listen into Virtus.Pro and see how they want to deal with the Tyrion.
Can we play that guy?
Yeah,
Probably
play that.
Hero.
Yeah, Sylvanas and that guy. He's not gonna overcommit to the board with Sylvanas, right?
How it's Sylvanas.
What to do?
Not like Sylvanas. What do you want to play?
I want to play Sylvanas in Hero Power.
Yeah, Sylvanas.
Yeah,
Hero
same.
Power. Yeah. And you bump into the frog.
Yes, for sure. Just 1 and 5 steal the Tyrion.
Yeah.
What?
What is this?
Okay, guys. Did I miss something?
What do we do?
I wonder.
I would just go all face. And then I'm
Yeah, I
just
would also
wondering
just
what we
probably
play.
just hit our face. What are we going to do?
Do we just play the Doomsayer? I think it's a good move. We get to develop next turn and smack him for 5. We have the rag.
Can you steal the Tyrion somehow?
He can try.
With Lightning Storm into something, say could.
Yeah.
Must move quickly.
We can play the Barnes and a Doomsayer when they can't, right? What is it? Barnes Doomsayer Hero Power, is that the best?
Barnes
And all,
Doomsayer.
and all face. I can't figure it out. I think it's pretty complex, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Not like this, what to do.
Yeah, but it's way too many 50-50, right? If we play Drake, we need to hit everywhere on 4. Then we need to steal
What?
Tyrion. But I guess we have to go for it.
You can
Yeah, because-
just Lightning Hero Power and Lightning Storm.
Just Lightning Hero Power and Lightning Storm.
But it's still 50-50 and
Yeah, but we have to go for it because we don't have any heals. So yeah, we have to go
what's
for it.
better? Drake
We're just
or
gonna
Hero
dive to the
Power?
weapon.
Jet Lightning.
think it's better to... Yeah, hero power, I like it more. Yeah, go for it. Okay, nice one.
So Storm.
Oh, so faster. Oh my god. Not like this.
Come on, steal Tyrion. Bumps is Sylvanas. Yeah. Steal Tyrion.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Alright, game's over.
Wow, Virtus.Pro got the 1 and 3 for the Wrath of Air, but they lost where it mattered the most, which is the Lightning Storm not being able to hit high on the minions. And compLexity now has a very convenient board clear. They've got the board,
card draw,
and damage.
Yeah. And you heard Virtus.Pro say we don't have any healing, which means looks like they probably have one Jinyu Water Speaker left, if that. Yeah. No healing wave. That's brutal for Virtus.Pro as two favorable matchups now. Well, I don't necessarily know if this one's favorable. It's really hard.
Yeah, you know, the fact that they're playing the Sylvanas package with, which seems to be N'Zoth, does make me feel that it is kind of vulnerable to some control combo decks.
Yeah.
But with hexes, you know, you definitely have to feel like you're also in a good spot.
I really do like what Virtus.Pro tried to do here, though, is, you know, bring some different stuff. Try and predict the meta as being really slow now. That Small Tent Buccaneer has been changed, and Spirit Claws. Going with a more control-oriented Shaman, they were very close to being able to coming back in that game. They got the Spell Power Totem. If Lightning Storm had rolled, even just formed one of those minions, and it was down to a 50-50 instead of a 1 and 3, and they'd still stolen that Tyrion. Not having Ashbringer and denying and being able to have the Ashbringer for themselves could have put them in a favorable position in that game. But now compLexity, again, getting multiple wins with Paladin, which has been part of their success throughout the entirety of the Trinity Series, is that Paladin deck and getting multiple wins, especially in unfavorable matchups early on. And now Virtus.Pro running out of options a little bit. Priest, Warlock, Druid, and Mage left. Is it time to bring out the Priest, which we've seen to be a popular counter, or not a counter, but a popular Q into the Paladin. I don't know, this one, it's starting to look pretty grim for Virtus.Pro as their hopes of making it to that $150,000 playoffs starts to dwindle just a little bit. Now, I do want to point out that every team does get a little bit of prize money. Even if you finish in the bottom 4, you still go away with some prize money. It's just not $75,000 that you would get for winning the whole thing. It's only a little bit. So you don't get to come hang out with me, Dan, and Admirable, which is the huge blow there.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the big loser of everything. So now, you know, I'm looking at Mage as potentially being a pick here to maybe counter it, because you do have Polymorph, you do have Ice Block to stop combo, and then maybe you can stall the board there. Priest potentially could be a pick as well. You know, Druid's actually not bad either. Paladin does have a lot of weak matchups, so that's part of the reason why he's one of the most vulnerable decks here in the tournament.
Well, it is going to be Mage, and it looks to be a Tempo Mage based off of the Sorcerer's Apprentice. So this deck, Tempo Mage, is one of the decks that can sort of just beat itself with poor draws, and if you draw too many minions and not enough spells early on, then you get into an awkward situation where you have a bunch of overcosted things in your hand and you can't play them all. compLexity opens up with Doomsayer and True Silver Champion in their opening hand, which are two fantastic cards in this matchup because they let you deal with early boards incredibly well. And early starts are how Tempo Mage can win this matchup a lot of times. Early starts and lots of burst.
That's right. Something we weren't accounting for. I was thinking about Reno Mage, but Tempo Mage may be able to just pressure them out of the game. compLexity does have an early game start, though. They have Bluegills and Murloc War Leaders and True Silver.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro on the coin. Definitely a tool that can be used to a lot of benefit for the Tempo Mage, with Flame Waker just being able to cheat out some spells earlier on. You reach that power turn early. A lot of times Tempo Mage comes down to one big swing turn or one big power turn around rounds turn 4, turn 5. And Coin lets that happen a turn earlier. So even though you're mana behind for the rest of the game, it's not really about your power play each turn. It's about that one big power play, the one big swing.
Doesn't seem like they're that afraid of it, though. They're just going to play the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which means that it's vulnerable to a Blue Gilt Warrior. Let's tune in to see what compLexity is thinking here.
So we could Doomsayer, or we could Blue Grill into Saucy.
I think I would tend to Doomsayer here.
I think
It's
I like
very-
Doomsayer as well.
It's very likely that it either pops or that he doesn't develop. So like it would be a removal spell, and then we can just choose over the girl.
Yeah, and then we have Murloc Blue Grill for something later, I guess.
I think
Like,
if
it
you
has
want to
to
get
be-
off,
It has to be some nutty Flame Waker turn, right? With all the one.
Yeah, then we
one-mana
can
spells.
cruise for the Flame Waker then.
Yeah, unless it's a mirror image. But I think that's a risk we take. Like
Oh.
it has to be all the stuff, right? Flame Waker coin. It has to be a lot.
and he has to hit four hits on the. He has to hit all hits on a Doomsayer. I'm not afraid of that. Sorry.
I mean, you can coin a Frostbolt, you know.
Burns for the next turn. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now.
Yeah, but which spells?
Coin and Frostbolt, I think.
I like Coin and Frostbolt.
Yeah, let's just start with Flamework and Coin and see how it goes.
And you can also Frostbolt face right away.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking about Frostbolt in face. I think we Arcane Blast. I think Frostbolt face is fine because the next turn we want to play Burns.
You play all spells?
I mean, you can Arcane Blast the Doomsayer first, right?
Yeah,
The Frostbolt face.
then Frostbolt face. Yeah.
Trade in Frostbolt face.
Trade the
Yeah.
Frostbolt face.
I like.
Can't we just blue gem now into the girl next to me, 2 silver?
I mean, we probably have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Is it never true for this? No.
No. Maybe eat 6.
greedy.
Yeah. Yeah, just Blue Grill.
Reporting for duty.
Me Barnes anyway.
No, I think you Barnes anyways.
Hey, Burns and you trade.
Tonight, a tale of long-lost world.
Jack. Then, well,
Unlucky.
they have to remove the board. If they have Pyromancer equality, they're gonna use it. Hopefully they don't.
Like, come on, please just like.
Okay, that's fine.
This is a great early start for Virtus.Pro. They even get the Flame Waker out of the barn, so now they can start putting on some real pressure. Ooh, Briggly Bully might change things, though.
Yeah, that's really big. Primarily because it gives them an extra coin to be able to use for other stuff. But the primary thing that you want to use stuff with coin is for Antonidas or Flame Waker. So I wonder if they want to capitalize on an Arcane Intellect first.
Well, they know they're going face, so get
Okay.
that out of the way with the minions.
Right.
Now it's, I like the Briggly Bully because Arcane Intellect's always going to be there. It could help you cheat out Firelands Portal next turn as well, which might be a big deal. And compLexity's hand is so heavy right now. They do have a lot of Murlocs, and they have already played a Bluegill. So those Anyfins are actually getting super close to being active, but the thing is they just don't have removal tools yet. They have a quality, but no activator. They only have a way to deal with one of these threats, and all of these threats are huge as far as, pressure goes. So maybe kill the Flame Waker and then double War Leader. That might have to be their best option. But if they do that, then they're not developing Acolyte of Pain, which means that they're not getting closer to those board clears and those board sweeps.
Yeah, so they have Murloc War Leaders in there. Anything can happen, but they don't necessarily have the ability to get to that turn. That's the big problem.
Let the pain move quickly.
All right, so they are going to go with a little bit of a middle play. Sort of force the trade into the Acolyte of Pain with the Burglary Bully to protect some of their face damage, because if they just start playing spells with the Flame Waker, then that means they risk giving them a bunch of draws. So,
yep,
I think that's got to be the case. But
that one extra draw might make the difference maker here for complexity. Virtus.Pro has the Acolyte of Pain. Sorcerer's Apprentice is not a bad pickup at all. Lets him squeeze in both these plays in anticipation for Firelance Portal. You could Sorcerer's Apprentice, Arcane Blast. I guess Arcane Missiles does have value.
It's 5 extra damage. I mean, you can put them really low this turn.
Yeah,
you could set up a
is.
potential lethal should they not remove anything off the board.
There is potential saving it, though, because you have Antonites in your deck. But because you're trying to kill your opponent and you have Firelance Portal to the face, I think this is the best course of action.
Yeah, they're putting them all the way down to just 11 or 10 health, sorry, with the Flame Waker attack. So under a lot of pressure, let's now listen into complexity, see how they want to deal with it.
Nah.
Yeah, we just play the minions and...
Yeah, and hope.
Yeah.
So.
Reporting for duty.
Oh wow, nice. Keep it continue like that.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
God, in and out seems good.
It's alright. Seriously.
Now they have
This shaman was correct to kill it.
Well, Temple Mage putting a stop to the Paladin finally. It did take out a couple of favorable matchups, but as now that's up to the Temple Mage to try and get back in the series.
Yep, certainly. I think the Temple Mage has shown a lot of power in the past weeks, TJ. We've seen Temple Mage 6-0 opponents before.
Yeah.
So it's not a deck to be slept on at all. What you have to really imagine is, does complexity have a direct counter queue to it? Were they accounting for Temple Mage? Because it feels like half the field likes Temple Mage and the other half is pretty high on Reno Mage. We'll see. Virtus.Pro down 2-1, but if there's anything that we've learned in Trinity Series, it's never truly over till it's over.
That's
in a format
true.
like Last Hero Standing, you definitely have an opportunity to reverse sweep.
Yeah, and now, well, one thing to note is that Virtus.Pro has not been so keen on the Reno Mage. They've been the team that has played Reno Mage, I believe, the least, maybe aside from Luminosity. They've played Temple Mage and Freeze Mage almost every week except for week number 1. So they've been sort of on the forefront of innovation as far as Mage is concerned. And a lot of decks, actually. They were the first team to bring Zoo also. They brought it the same week that Temple Storm did.
Mm-hmm. But they played it first on stream, right?
Virtus.Pro, I actually think Temple Storm played it first on stream.
Oh, okay.
But they submitted.
So they weren't first at all.
They submitted at the same time, so yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
they were tied for first.
Temple Storm invented the Trinity Series, so
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Reynat, for giving us the idea of Trinity Series.
Papa bless.
And running the production. It's actually Reynat making the switches right now in the graphics.
Yeah.
You guys just don't know.
He invented graphics also.
Have you ever seen Reynat stream at the same time as Trinity Series? I haven't.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory? I think not. But now we'll see if again, complexity can find an answer to the Temple Mage. I'm thinking Priest.
Yeah, Priest is an okay choice for
Whoa!
sure. You have a lot of early game tools to try and dissect any kind of aggression that comes out of them. If they play Flame Waker, you can Shadow Word Pain, and then you have Bookworm late stage of the game. I wonder if they'd run a copy of Potion of Madness as well. That card's really effective against those early game threats too.
Mm-hmm. It's a possibility. It's definitely good against the faster decks. Maybe not so much against Temple Mage. I guess it could be used for like Blood Mage Thalnos or Mana Worm or something like that. But now getting into it, a good hand for Virtus.Pro once again. They have Flame Waker, they have Sorcerer's Apprentice, and cheap spells. You really need to take control of the board early against Dragon Priest, because as soon as they take control of the board, it's almost impossible to wrestle it back as the Mage, unless you have the ideal removal. So now it's up to Virtus.Pro. They were hoping that Complexity was going to miss that 2-drop, because they missed a 2-drop and they were able to stick a Sorcerer's Apprentice on the board. They could have followed it up with Flame Waker and really had some fireworks. But Warmrest Agent puts a huge damper on that game plan.
Yep, Wormrest Agent, kind of complicated, but perhaps maybe Virtus.Pro wants to just draw anyways. You could play Blood Mage Thanos, try to draw resources, and save for that huge burst turn where you have 5 mana, maybe even 6 with the coin. Just go off. You draw this turn, you draw next turn, and then Priest could miss drops. I mean, Netherspite Historian is not exactly a strong minion. So if you're not being threatened by life, you have time in the stall. Oh, interesting. This actually, you can make a case for all of these. Bookworm, of course, is the strongest and the fastest. Chill Maw does ensure a more clear board. Your opponent can't just push damage to the face. Also really effective against things like Firelance Portal. You play that, they can't really Firelance Portal it.
Yeah.
Deathwings also has some case too, TJ.
It does, yeah. It can be that late game sort of win condition to clear the board. But let's go ahead and listen into Virtus.Pro now as another Flamewaker picked up. They can start going off this turn.
Go.
If they just play Dragon next turn, we go second. Coins first roast, bam, 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 bam.
What to do?
But
Probably
even if
just
they
play
kill
one.
it, yeah, just play
Do
one.
we just play one and then don't play any spells? What do you think?
I like it, yeah, because next turn we can just go bam 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 in case even if they kill it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Historian.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Operative.
Yeah, it should be.
We attack and heal, right?
Yeah.
Do we attack?
We have to attack, yeah, good.
Yeah, just thinking about it.
And just pass, right?
Well,
Attack phase.
but
Yeah, I mean, but we don't.
yeah. We want this thing.
Can we play soccer?
Looks like they have Holy Nova.
But Holy Nova?
I mean, yeah, so you can go Flamewaker into coin and then blast missiles. That also works.
Double one spell.
Yeah, that's also cool.
But wait, I'd also play Suckers. If they play Holy Nova, that's not tempo. You still have the Flamewaker on the board. I'm more afraid of...
We can play Sorcerer next turn, why not?
Because next turn you want to go Arcane Intellect
wait.
plus Torch, probably.
If they go with the Corruptor, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have
Sorcerer and
Yeah,
Fireball or Torch.
I mean, Holy
Sorcerers
Nova
and then Arcane Blast.
minions are gonna die, but we're gonna have the board, and there is only one Holy Nova in the deck. I think we have to go in.
No, why would we? Why would we
Just
go
do something, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Just do whatever you want. But you still shoot the missiles, I think.
it should be missiles. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I should not have said that.
Oh, Naaman once again having a bit of a disagreement with Dr. Hippie. Buddy Hopper wasn't even sort of present in that little bit of an argument going on there. Dr. Hippie made the hard read that there was a Holy Nova present. But Naaman brought up Blackman Corruptor, in that if Blackman Corruptor comes out, then what's going to happen with, the board? Sorcerer's Apprentice would have been an extra 3 damage on the board this turn, and they would have had that extra 2 mana to spend on more spells. So, I don't know. I feel like Naaman had a good point.
Yeah, I do feel like the read isn't that poor from Dr. Hippie. We have the ability to activate Caster Vision and see that there isn't one, so they look kind of silly. But, it's not necessarily the most outrageous thing. What did compLexity do turns 3 and 4? They played 2 Netherspite Historians. Their hand seemed to be really weak, and they would top out on late game, because if they played an early game Dragon like Twilight Whelp, they would have gotten rid of it already. So, it's not unreasonable to think Virtus.Pro, from Virtus.Pro's perspective, compLexity has a lot of heavy-handed cards like Holy Nova. I don't think it's necessarily that bad of an idea.
Yeah. Now the same situation comes up. Do they play around AoE? Now Dragonfire Potion is in the range. Or do they get the Sorcerer's Apprentice out there to try and get that extra benefit from the spells? And once again, they hold on to it. And Dr. Hippie gives a little bit of a giggle again. I'm sure that they were debating it. I'm sure they even wanted to play that Sorcerer's Apprentice again. And now they have nothing on the board against this Bookworm.
Yeah, it's also missed damage, too. In fact, I think this would have been lethal if they played Sorcerer's Apprentice.
It would have been.
Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice couldn't be. Well, it's hard to say because maybe they would have played Dragonfire Potion, so they'd actually be safe.
That's true. But they would have been
Sorcerer's
3 extra damage on the face at that stage also because of the Sorcerer's Apprentice attack last turn. So it's really hard to make the case. But against Dragon Priest, I think a lot of times you just have to... You're going to get outvalued almost no matter what. Like, there's not many decks that in this mid-game stage can outvalue a Priest. So I feel like you just have to go aggressive and hope they don't have it a lot of the times.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro debating if they want to remove this Bookworm. And that would play directly into Complexity's hand because they have Draconoid Operative and the Shadow Word Pain. That would put Virtus.Pro in a really bad spot. But if they don't deal with it, then they're letting their opponent grab the board and they'll never get it back and they have to rely on board to win the game. And that's going to be really tough, too. So I think Virtus.Pro is in a lose-lose situation. Let's go ahead and listen in and see what these guys are thinking on these pivotal turns.
Wow, they hit all the cycle after that opener. Come on. This is actually just stupid.
Hey, can you not hit our
face? Alright, let's go with an operative, right?
Yeah, I think so as well. Bully, Elemental, Hoarder. I think I take the Bully. No. Or the Elemental.
Isn't it 2 mana thingy? Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right.
We can maybe get Holy Nova. Yes.
We can fit in Loot Hoarder on a turn, maybe. Release a bit harder.
No, I think we could play...
Not this turn, so this turn we are definitely healing face with.
What about the Water Elemental? We can play next turn Water Elemental, 2-drop and heal.
Yeah.
Sure.
I must consider.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Quickly.
Hope they don't hit Emperor or something.
How do you like Sorceress?
Blast, Fireball Face. Wait, Arcane Blast, we don't really want to give it away because we have Antonidas and Arcane Blast the next turn.
What to do?
Suckers, Fireball Face, Pink
Just double
Face.
Fireball Face. Is Sorcerer pass?
Why don't play Sorceress? I think we wanted to take some damage
Yeah, play it.
rather than our face. So I'd play Sorceress.
Fireball and Face, the next turn Arcane Blast and... play Suckers, Fireball, Pink Face. The next turn we're gonna play Antonidas. Double Fireball for the next turn. We can Fireball
If we
Face.
ping now,
Wait. You can just use Torch.
If we ping now, ping face.
Pink Face for sure.
Because if he heals now and then he heals with Holy Nova 15, and then we have lethal with Fireball,
I
Torch.
mean, you can pink anyway. We have
never
this
mind.
one, another one.
Fireball, we're dead, just right? That's how it is.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Need to just try to kill them really fast.
So maybe Pain and heal face. With Twilight Drake.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pain instead of 18. Yeah, I like
We
it.
could play around Drake. No, we can't. Yeah, just a Fire Drake. Pain and healer of face. Yeah, if I have another Fireball, guys. I mean, we are not. I'm not. I can't do these miracles.
Stop the Fireball.
That's lethal.
Yeah, just kill it. Yeah, just little. Oof, nice.
BM Blast.
No.
No BM.
I would BM, but if you don't like this play, okay.
I think we played it pretty badly. We should have played Suckers, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I think we played it. Because if they just Holy Nova on turn 5, we're
that's
more
fine,
than
but-
completely fine. We just...
Well, Dr. Hippie conceded at the end
debate.
there. He said, yeah. He understood at the end. Damon's like, yeah, we should play Sorcerer Apprentice. Dr. Hippie goes, yeah.
It's funny that they think like one wrong play means that they just played bad. I mean, yeah, it does mean in the end that they made a pretty vital error that could have improved their chances. They still won. But they felt like they could have even played better, which is the real key thing there. I felt like they navigated a couple turns pretty well there from Virtus.Pro. And in the end, they got the important thing, which is the W. Who cares if you... In the end, who really cares if you play really badly if you win all the time?
Yeah, there are not many players in Hearthstone who would rather play better but lose than play worse but win.
Almost every player would say.
Almost every player would prefer to play worse and still win. Maybe with a few very, very small exceptions. But now it's all tied up. The Tempo Mage has equaled the score here with the Murloc Paladin that compLexity was able to take a couple wins with early on. And how far can they go with the Tempo Mage? The sky's the limit for this deck. We've seen it in the past. It's sort of feast or famine in the way that it can beat itself a lot of times with draws. But when it's on point, man, is it on point.
I mean, when you look at the data across everything for how Tempo Mage performs, it's actually just losing everything. It's like 45% against the field in general. It's unfavored against everything, but yet at the same time, nothing completely overpowers it to the point where it's a one-sided matchup. There's no equivalent of Jade Druid against Reno Mage, for example, where that's like super one-sided, 70-30 at best for Reno Mage. Sometimes it's even worse depending on how your list is. If you're playing anti-aggro and Jade Druid, it's just that much favored against you. So for the most part, Tempo Mage is pretty even, and we haven't had a deck like that in the metagame since Combo Druid was around. I think when Midrange Shaman came out in dominance in Karazhan, it's been like 6 months, since that really was effective. And we haven't had a deck that was like as good as the Druid used to be back then. So it's interesting to see, Tempo Mage be in that spot.
Yeah, now one thing is to note is a lot of players bring Tempo Mage to tournaments because it fits in a specific lineup. Tempo Mage is sort of a good like third or fourth deck when it comes to like a full aggressive lineup.
Right.
Because it's the highest, it's like the fourth highest win rate fast deck, I suppose. But again, against these control decks, it can prey upon them. But against fast decks, it's not very good. So we'll see. compLexity is going to use their Shaman here. So Shaman has traditionally been a counter to Tempo Mage in just about every meta, but the fact that they didn't use the Shaman first indicates that either they feel the Shaman was going to be a better counter to something else, or they feel like the Shaman's not as strong against Tempo Mage as some other Shamans were. We see Bloodlust and Hex in the build, which lends us to believe that this is a slower variant of Shaman.
Expect to see a lot more of that today because of the way the Small Time Buccaneer has been nerfed.
And Spirit Claws. Spirit Claws was a key tool in aggressive Shaman builds because it's cheap, very cheap.
I do feel like the mid-range Shaman can get away with playing 2-mana Spirit Claws, though.
Yeah. I'll have to agree with that.
Yeah. Taking a look at the opening hands, that's kind of what you want for the Tempo Mage, being able to get the Mana Worm out, followed by card draw. Really powerful stuff. Shaman does have its own mix of pretty decent tools, too. Jade Claws, very effective at building up your early game Jades, and as well as making sure that you don't get blown out. The question becomes if you want to coin it out. I don't think you necessarily want to.
Without a turn 2 play, like turn 2 meaning you'd be overloaded for 1, so you'd only have 1 mana going into turn 2. It feels a little bit risky, but you can just start hitting in, You guarantee to kill on the Mana Worm over 2 turns unless Mirror Image comes out.
So I'm looking at the Tempo Mage statistics, and it is kind of what we were talking about. It's 50% against mid-range Shaman, 50% against anything Paladin. It is actually extremely unfavored against Dragon Warrior and extremely favored against Aggro Rogue. Do you want to guess, TJ?
Against Aggro Rogue?
How much favored Tempo Mage is against Aggro Rogue?
80-20.
It's 92-8.
Whoa!
According to stats.
Jeez.
I've never actually seen something that one-sided in the metagame before.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. 8% win rate against Dragon Warrior. That's fascinating. Oh wait, just kidding. According to also recent statistics since the beginning of the season, Reno Priest has a 0% win rate against mid-range Shaman.
Oh no. 0%.
Yeah, 0.
I mean, how big is that sample size?
That's
It's like
so
one
funny to
game, and the
me,
one
man.
guy that's played it lost.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Of course, we're using the Data Reaper live statistics track, people who link to TrackerBot. Pretty fascinating. But yeah, mid-range Shaman, Temple Mage, even 50-50. And that's good enough for maybe compLexity to feel like they have a good shot. You know, a lot of players think 50-50 matchups is sometimes a good thing for them because that means it gives them room for them to outmaneuver their opponents. But then there's also the aspect of maybe they just draw poorly.
Yeah. All right, let's go and listen in now to compLexity and see what they were debating on for this turn.
I want to cast a spell.
Because they have the coin, they might coin out Jade Lightning, and the next turn we can just Kusuckers and ping. We played Mana Tide, then we want to play the Kusuckers. The Suckers.
I wonder.
Yeah, if they will play Mana Tide, we need to kill it.
Yes.
But if you will play Sorcery, they will Lightning Storm it.
Oh, they want Lightning Storm. That, yeah, 2 minions. Just overload, I think, is bad. I think there's a consideration like they can play Mana Tide or they can play the coin Jade Lightning. If they coin Jade Lightning the Mana Worm, just gonna lose the board. We're just gonna not have anything since we're gonna be forced to trade with the.
But like, I mean, they're not gonna
Time runs out.
coin Jade Lightning the Mana Worm. I'd play the Cool Sorcerers.
Yeah, it's also play it. Yeah, yeah.
Someday I'll be just like you.
And if they
I
coin
mean,
now,
Barons.
Oh, Sorcerer's Apprentice, I don't know.
yeah, just get some Barons, yeah. Barons.
Some Barons, okay. Over early.
Maybe Jade's Claws now.
Yeah, I think what about just Jade clawing the sorceress and
Yeah,
nothing?
it's Jade Claw. It's Jade Claw.
Yeah, I don't think we Lightning Bolt this turn.
No, that's what I think is. I don't think it is well. I just think we Jade claws because he also has to ping.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the Water Elemental. He can't play Water Elemental now. Or like, he can, but then
He
we
gets
get the
punished.
free
Yeah.
trade and we get the Jade Lightning.
Yeah, but like, we can take some time.
Just take some time, yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, like this.
What to do? What to do?
And if they know all our hand is like, I mean, at least I want to have them to be afraid of Spell Waker, Flame Waker.
Flame Waker.
Nah, I think you can ping it now.
Dr. Hippie, the master bluffer.
I mean, it's a really good tactic in general to really stall, because at this point of the Trinity Series, everyone's trying to find any kind of little edge. And with 3 people watching the game at the same time, there's bound to be one person that introduces a, wait, they took a long time to do X, Y, Z, or they did this really fast. Therefore, they come to a conclusion that they must have, you know, ABC in their hand. That happens very often whenever we tune in. So being able to introduce this false sense of information might confuse compLexity. A little bit of an ironic statement, of course.
I wonder.
Interesting that Dr. Hippie has Golden Emperor Azure Drakes and Blood Mage, but not Firelands Portal, which is a common. I'm baffled.
Yeah, they have gold and everything, so Firelands Portal. Gotta work on that.
Disappointed. Well, Feral Spirits played.
Ooh, Golden Rag. That
And
is
Golden Rag, too.
3,200 dust for free when it rotates.
Now that's just value. Well,
And
Azure
Golden
Drake,
Azure Drakes.
yeah, Azure Drake looks to be the play here. Oh yeah, Azure Drake's rotating out too. Azure Drake looks to be the play here. This is not the kind of hand that you really want. Sometimes it can be, but threat heavy really just gives Shaman an excuse to use all of their very efficient removal. So this could be a pretty easy coin Jade Lightning turn. Start getting those Jades up there. It would be a 2/2 this time around. and start clearing the board. Temple Mage doesn't come back on the board very well. They need a big Flame Waker turn in order to do so. And if you go wide enough, even a big Flame Waker board can't really deal with a board full of lots of medium-sized stuff. Lots of 3 health plus stuff.
Yeah, you know, I like Koi and Jade Lightning. I think you just never want to relinquish the board against Tempo Mage, really. Tempo Mage is able to leverage their damage to make sure that their board gets in repetitive hits, so that way they drain the life that way. So making sure that they never get any board damage means that they're only limited to burn. This is something that Firebat actually taught me. He was saying, if you just eliminate mages from Tempo Mage, they can't kill you.
Yep. All right, well, now let's listen to VP as they draw finally a spell that they can use.
You still play the Emperor, though?
I still play the Emperor. Next turn we're gonna go Rack, yeah. Yeah, just bump it.
So we can mana tag Talnos as Lightning Bolt or as a Drake Lightning Bolt. I don't like Hex here.
Why do you not like Hex?
Because he might have Antonidas or Rack.
Rack is not a problem because we have a full board.
Yeah, but Antonidas might be right.
What does he do with Antonidas?
Get Firebolt.
Yeah, I'm just asking this. Yeah.
I wonder.
The Lightning Bolt is very valuable against Flame Wakers, so yeah. The Hex also doesn't overload us. It's close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go tight. Hex, I like it.
What do we do?
I like the mana tight Hex or go face. And yeah.
We kill the frog.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah, if he has a double Waker turn now, our hands are bounded, right? And the Antonidas is not even his problem, right?
Yeah, now we can kill Antonidas even.
Yeah.
Just give it a bit.
So really play Rag?
Why not? They used Hex, just having Rack on the board.
I'm not sure about Rock.
Would you play?
I wonder.
Barnes Acolyte.
Barnes and Acolyte. What do we want to get from Barnes? I think, yeah, playing Barnes. No, you want to play it if you want to get second Flame Waker or the good Suckers. Oh, it's the Suckers, yeah.
What to do?
The earlier you play Rag, the more it does, right? Which...
Playing Rack after seeing Hex, that's fine.
But how we will kill board?
Time runs out
We
on
need to draw cheap spells.
Yeah, we can do it the turn after.
But I think, yeah, just Rack suits the board, that's fine.
So TJ, do you like the Rag play?
I think so, yeah. Bunny Hopper brought up a good point. I think it was Bunny Hopper. He said the earlier play Rag, the more that it does. I don't think they're ever going to find a turn where they can play Rag where the board is this much, this small. And even though Dr. Hippie was talking about how if they get Acolyte of Pain now, they can start getting towards those early spells to combo with Flame Waker. They do have some time, and Rag can stifle a little bit of this board pressure, or at least draw removal to help buy them some time. So I do like this play. Otherwise, Rag would be stranded in their hand for a long time, I feel.
Okay, I can definitely get behind that too. And I do tend to agree. Rag hitting any of the Feral Spirits or the Manti would have been really good. I think the big problem is the card draw source for compLexity. They've got a lot of ability to do that.
Yeah.
They're going wide on the board. No respect.
No respect.
Wow, what if Virtus.Pro decided to just be that one Tempo Mage that has Flame Strike? It's very rare. A lot of Tempo Mages don't play Flame Strike, but what if they just did?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
they can start removing some of the board here with Forgotten Torch. It doesn't really do that much, though, is the thing. They could Flame Waker, Forgotten Torch, Ping, and start removing the board. But compLexity is drawing a few cards a turn, and they have Bloodlust in their deck with a wide board, which means that as soon as they pick up Bloodlust, the game's probably going to end.
Yeah, I like that approach. You know, complexity saying that Virtus.Pro doesn't have the Flame Strike, and we can win if we have Bloodlust or draw a lot of cards. It's definitely one of those things where Virtus.Pro has to have the right answer, and if they don't, then complexity just runs away with it.
What to do?
Yeah. No, they can't even fit in an extra spell here.
What if they get Barnes into a Sorcerer's Apprentice? Does that make anything better?
No, because then they still would only be able to play one spell. Because they only have 2 cheap spells. So Firelands Portal is going to be the play. It looks like they want to play Acolyte of Pain here over the ping. To try and draw
ping
more.
the Thanos, though. It's so threatening.
Yeah, I suppose. That's rough. But Acolyte of Pain, a little bit of a pivot at the last moment. Let's go and listen in now to Complexity, see how they want to deal with this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Is it so wow?
Azure Drake. Oh, we are overloaded, huh?
I think I would go Hero Power J-Claws thing from below.
And all face or what?
Yeah. You can
Is
also
it never
go.
Azure Drake Potter?
No, because when we have to trade in his rack, it's better.
Yeah, I don't care about this Acolyte.
Yeah, I would actually just... I like Crane's line here, because you also...
Okay, what do we do exactly?
You hero power first. We can roll spell power. Hero power first.
No?
And then we just play Thing from below, J-Claws, and go all face, right?
Yeah. The J-Claws is also a 3/3. This is also another reason.
Alright. Flame Breaker Fireball for sure, right? I think you start with Flame Waker Fireball.
Flamewaker Fireball, then trade with Acolyte, and then see what we're gonna get.
We can do the same with Drake, but no, we need to play Flamewaker, I think.
No. We want to actually not play the torch, we would rather find another spell. Like draw one from Acolyte.
Nice. Probably Torch.
Torch seems better, I think. You just bump into the Mana Tide and then you Torch 3/3. Or double Arcane Blast. I think it's more missiles, so maybe we should go for a double Arcane Blast.
Probably no, we could. I would like.
No, I think you bump the Mana Tide and then use the torch on a 3/3.
I like it more.
This because you have Drake.
Nice.
Wow.
Good trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just do something with Drake here, right?
Yeah, Drake first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we Maelstrom, alright? Or what is it? Or Storm. I think I like the Maelstrom a bit more.
I do as well.
Maelstrom into Lightning Bolt, Watcher?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Do we have to Lightning Bolt the Watcher?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Man, dieser, ey, der Flamemaker, ey. Ey, really. Yeah, too bad. Hey, man. Hey, man. What is this?
Yeah, when Rag gets to live this long, TJ, it's eventually he's gonna get an amazing hit. You know.
Yeah.
He had some couple of duds, but now it seems like Rag not being dealt with is really starting to catch up with complexity. They have 3 mana ties, and yet Virtus.Pro is still keeping up on the value game.
Yeah, and Virtus.Pro can start pushing damage here if they want to. They can guaranteed clear off this Bloodcell Corsair, and then guarantee that rag shot to face, and also deal 8 damage with these arcane missiles. With Roaring Torch in hand, I don't know. Virtus.Pro may have turned the corner. They're going to put him down all the way to, what, 8? 8 health? With a torch in hand, with spell power on the board? It's not looking good for compLexity.
compLexity doesn't seem to have much of an answer. They've got Lightning Storm and Lightning Bolt that can help them this turn if they get 4s on the Azure Drake and the Barnes from the Lightning Storm.
Yeah, but if any minion survives, then they lose. So if Azure Drake, Lightning Storm, and Lightning Bolt. But again, any minion survives and they lose. They could also try and roll Spell Power Totem and Lightning Storm and then Jinyu, but I think that's probably a little bit too risky. Thing from below, not going to help him this turn, I don't think.
Yeah, not cheap enough, unfortunately.
All right, let's see.
Lightning Storm for 4, 2 of the minions.
Oh, no.
Hey, Virtus.Pro did the same exact thing to compLexity earlier, right?
Yeah.
Need to get 2 high Lightning Storm attacks and only got 0. So that's going to wrap up the 3rd win here for Virtus.Pro. 3 games in a row going to game number 6, TJ.
Wow. So Virtus.Pro definitely on a roll with this Tempo Mage. Can it take them all the way? Now keep in mind, for those of you who weren't tuned in at the beginning of the broadcast, both these teams do have a chance to make the playoffs. For compLexity, it's easier. compLexity just needs to either win the series. If they win the series, they're automatically into the playoffs, or win 5 games in the series. So even if they lose, as long as they win 5 games, then they qualify.
Yeah.
They can also win if either G2 or LG lose, either one of them. So taking a look at Virtus.Pro, there's a little bit tough. It relies on them winning this match. They have to win versus compLexity. And if they do that, then they also have to rely on Luminosity losing their match. They can also get in if they lose, but it relies on pretty much every other team tied in standings with them loses also. So Tempo, G2, and LG all lose in order for them to make it. So it's Virtus.Pro definitely needs the win here, whereas compLexity has some other options, but it would be easier if they just won.
Yeah, it's essentially still the same thing, just win.
Just win.
Yeah, we'll update you guys on how the standings are. Remember that if they tie in game score, then it's the win percentage. So we start factoring how many games they lost.
Yes.
An easier way to understand it is first tiebreaker is how many games won. Second tiebreaker is how many they lost.
Yes.
So the higher the number, the worse it is.
Yeah.
And then the third is the head-to-head.
Yeah.
So they have the exact same game wins, the exact same game losses, and then they have the head-to-head advantage, then they go through.
Yes.
And the fourth tiebreaker is me or TJ judges their Tinder profiles and see which is more attractive, and then we invite them out for California.
If for some reason in the one match that they played against the other team this year they tied, then that is the tiebreaker. Yes.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Teams could just both win.
Look, we didn't say the fourth tiebreaker made sense. We just said that it's there.
It's
in
there.
Case, as a
it's
fail-safe.
in the official Trinity Series rulebook.
That's right. The casters get to judge based off of
their
social media profile pages.
But we'll see if Virtus.Pro can continue this run on Tempo Mage. Do or die situation for them. And compLexity has thrown a lot of decks into this one that have just lost.
Yeah, you know, the big surprising thing is this week, the patch hit 7.1 is up. Shaman's lost twice. They've went 0-2 so far. Now, granted that they weren't the same Shaman decks, so you can't necessarily judge it off of performance, but Shaman was deliberately picked into a matchup that the team wanted. They thought, okay, well, maybe we can just Q Shaman and get the win here. It wasn't the case. And instead, Tempo Mage has been the one doing the work, as well as Paladin. These are 2 decks that are flying way under the radar. Is it the beginning of something that indicates the meta is going to gravitate towards TJ?
Is it shifting? Is Tempo Mage the new Tier 1 deck?
You know, I certainly hope Tempo Mage is viable. I don't hope it's Tier 1 because I feel like, you know, we've seen enough aggressive strategies for Mean Streets of Gadgetzan patch and meta that I feel like it's time for a little bit of more of the Jade or even the Grind Magoons to shine a little bit more.
Well,
Jade's definitely had his time in the sun too.
Flamewaker's gone soon.
Soon, but not soon enough.
I know a lot of people feel that way. Flamewaker has always been that card that a lot of people love to hate. But it's never been, Tempo Mage has never been like the best deck in the format, which is the kind of funny thing that It's been, such a I don't want to call it a problematic card, but such a hated card for so long in a deck that has never really been highly represented or even have a high win percentage. So kind of interesting to know. But again, Virtus.Pro now with Temple Mage. This time going up against Druid. So compLexity feels like that their best opportunity to win this series is by trying to find a win against Druid. But I don't think this is a favorable matchup by any means for compLexity. So Virtus.Pro, I feel like, has an edge once again going into this match.
All right, well, going into game number 6 here, the Druid does tend to get really far behind, but it has the ability to get that early game ramp, like you mentioned. Jade Idol is kind of a ramp card. The more I see Jade Idol in the opening hand, the more I think, you know what? Even though you don't keep it, sometimes it's not the worst card to start things off with, because at least you get something onto the board.
Yeah, you get something on the board, you do something on turn 1, and you also get your ramps going, your Jades going. Not bad.
Yeah. And speaking of ramp, Druid's hitting that wild growth. Really important.
Yeah, they don't have any card draw right now. Their hand's looking dead. And now they have the option of, well, do we Wrath or do we Wild Growth now?
Even if they Wrath, I'd be tempted to draw with Wrath. But yeah. I can definitely see the validity of just removing Mana Worm straight up, because you're going to be ramping and being really slow, and you don't want Mana Worm to run away with the game. Well, just adding too much damage.
That's true. If you Wild Growth now, then you can attack him with the 1/1, and next turn, Wrath for 1 plus Hero Power down the Mana Worm.
Yeah, assuming that Mirror Images doesn't come out, though.
Yeah, they haven't seen a Mirror Image yet, though. So, we've been pretty far into the deck, especially in the last game, which went quite long. There would have been lots of great spots where Mirror Image would have saved him.
I do feel like Mirror Images is one of the 1-mana spells that you don't want to cut, though. I'd be willing to cut a lot more cards before that. I don't know. I'd be willing to cut Ragnaros before I cut Mirror Images.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Now let's go and listen into Virtus.Pro as they're faced with a tough coin turn.
What do you want to think about this?
The next turn they're gonna play the 2/3 guy. It's gonna be battle. It's gonna be 2/2. Do we go for the Flamebreaker and missiles? We probably do, right?
Yeah. If they go with the 4-drop, we go with the Waker and the missiles.
Yeah, we have to go with
I'm gonna Wrath on the Mana Worm for 1.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Hero Power the Worm.
I don't know. Is it like that? We have enough removal, right? We really need a follow-up.
Enough. I mean, there's a 3/2.
This is pretty close because we have a lot of 5s. Like, we have a lot of things we can get. But this Thanos might be annoying as well at some point.
I like to cycle the Wrath, but yeah.
I don't. I want to wait a turn at least.
Okay, sure.
I think Shapeshift is fine. Like, you can still Ross into a 5-drop.
Do you intellect?
I like intellect. Left one or right one?
Let's think.
I think right one.
Like having.
It's correct.
I think
Yeah, like
then the old ones are always the correct ones because they have more info about the old cards.
What to do? What to do?
Left one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone with this. Ooh, Emperor and double Flamebreaker. Okay, so the last 2 cards, they can play it. The first 3, they're not gonna play it.
I would just cycle the Wrath. I don't think it's a good Innovate Emperor.
Yeah, I would also cycle the Wrath.
We innovate that for sure, right?
Yeah, Innovate.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a huge couple of turns for both sides, with Emperor Thorson coming next turn for both teams. I'd have to give the edge to Virtus.Pro with that hand, though.
Well, they definitely win in the value game for now, but Nourish could always also pick up stuff. Azure Drake, not exactly useful in this situation here. I mean, then again, I think the only thing that Virtus.Pro would really want to hit are their top-end minions like Ragnaros or Emperor, not Emperor, Archmage Antonidas.
Yeah.
I mean, Emperor would be nice, but it's not even possible because they're holding it.
All right, well, is this the turn that Virtus.Pro is going to go off? They have Flame Waker plus double Arcane Missiles, which would be a total of, with coin, what, 12 shots?
Yeah, they definitely need to remove the Emperor Thaurissan. So I would prioritize doing that. And I'd be surprised if they just played Arcane Intellect. They already have enough cards. I also feel like saving the coin has a lot of that merit too. Oh, they wanted to coin out Emperor anyways, saying we can just Firelance Portal. Doesn't matter if you get the discount twice over. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is the approach that some players talk. And once again, I do tend to quote Firebat a lot, but I do feel like he's one of the players who's taught me the most individually about Hearthstone at a high level. Firebat told me that once Emperor, the most impactful Emperor discount is the first turn. After that, it's not nearly as strong as the first one is. So who cares sometimes? Yeah. Sometimes that's the case. A lot of times it's not. You want to remove Emperor, but being a good player versus a very good player is being able to separate those differences. Like sometimes you have to recognize that leaving Emperor is just correct. It's hard though. It's really hard to evaluate when it is and isn't.
Yeah. All right, well, they're going to take the risk. Get their second Emperor activation in order to risk giving their opponent one, and it hits face. So that's good. Could be a big deal for Virtus.Pro. I'd also like to quote Firebat here in that situation and say, holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. And with that, let's go now and listen into Virtus.Pro with their Emperor discounted turn.
Both Flame Wakers, Intellect, and Missiles. Go for it.
Okay.
What to do?
I serve the Fire Lord. I serve the Fire Lord.
To the inner right.
The Emperor, at least.
Just missiles, right?
Yeah.
Kill everything, please keep it. Do it. You can do it, man.
Good.
Kill it. Yes! Good boy, Hippie.
Hippie, you're such a god.
I see, well done. Ey, das ist so dumm. Ja. Ey, Mann. So was, ey, das ist so dumm.
I think I want to go Idle, Mulch, and then Innovate Spirit, and hope we get damage to kill them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But we Idle first, then.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't kill Flame Wakers?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Do we take the Raw? No, it doesn't do. What do we take? I guess we take the Raw. It's some damage, right?
The Raw.
Oh, whatever. I'm gonna have to do something.
Ja, Spirit. Hey. Ey, Mann, dieses dumme Deck, ey. Oh, Mann. Hey, I guys, sorry, I can't believe this.
I just went for this, honestly.
I'm not sure, just replay all.
Just play all. Wait. You play the Frostball first, yeah, and yeah, Frostball first.
It's might be little. Yeah, almost little.
No, almost. You know, around Nag, right?
Wow, that was insane. Double Flame Waker every single game so far.
So it's 4-2.
Insane
Tempo
swing turn.
Magus.
Jeez. They took the risk. They went with the Archmage, or sorry, not the Arch, but the Emperor Thaurissan instead of the Flame Waker to clear turn. And the Braggs had one face, and that's history.
I'm telling you, man, Firebat, you know, he throws out a lot of these bat wisdoms once in a while, and he talks about, you know, what are you really afraid of, and recognizing your role. If you're just going to be playing off the chance of removing Emperor Thor's Sand, because remember, Arcane Missiles could always miss. Not only are you giving up, you know, the ability to grab tempo yourself, but you're also giving up your win conditions essentially, because you'd be playing a Flame Waker, and you'd potentially put yourself in a bad position later on. That was a really good example of exactly what he's talking about, but it's not every case. I don't want everyone to just be like, well, I can just ignore Emperor, and then they just get comboed by Leroy and manipulated for like 4 mana while you know getting hellfired and something else.
Yeah. But I like the way that Virtus.Pro ended up playing that game, and now they're up 4-2 in the series, and we're going to see if they can continue their run on Temple Mage. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere, guys. More Trinity Series right after this.
Who's that pro?
Ha ha! Now you have to roll your mighty spell power totem to counter my Shadow Ward Pain.
right.
It's Super JJ.
Ha ha! Outplayed. Now you have to roll your mighty spell power totem to counter my Shadow Ward Pain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. My name is TJ, and I'm joined by Frodan. Hey, Frodan, how's it going?
It's going good, TJ. We've had a great series of games so far, and Virtus.Pro looking like they're rolling with the Tempo Mage so far. Really feeling like if you're in a position where Virtus.Pro is in, you're feeling really good. But it's surprising because I thought that compLexity was a shoo-in for this series.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Temple Mage is really off to a great run here, and we'll see if it can continue. It's got 4 wins now. We'll see if it can go 5, maybe even 6 to close out the series. But one thing's for certain is that Virtus.Pro is definitely socking it to him.
Yeah, and if your Virtus.Pro position, they're 2-4 in their series and standings so far, and if they lose here, they're 2-5, which effectively shuts them out. But they're close. To come this close and to lose, TJ. That sucks a lot.
Yeah, it really does. Really does.
Yeah. You okay, TJ? You're looking like looks like you're a little stinky over there, but it's okay. Looks like we're gonna go straight into game number 6, or game number 7. Apologies. Tempo Mage is going up against a Tempo Mage. We're having a mirror here.
Yeah, and wow, it's interesting that compLexity actually went with Tempo Mage this week because they've traditionally not been innovators at all in the Trinity series. They brought Rena Mage pretty much every week without much fail. So we'll see if they can make it work with the Tempo Mage. And you were telling me during the break that Tempo Mage actually has some really good matchups now with the few nerfs.
Yeah, we're analyzing some of the data even further. It turns out that Tempo Mage, we're saying that it was kind of, prior to the patch, it was slightly unfavored against the field, like 46, 47%, but it's actually got a lot more polarized matchups than I thought. It's very good against Pirate Warrior, for example. Pirate Warrior is something that we haven't really accounted for, and it also does have very favorable matchups against Reno, which tends to be something that we expect as well. The one thing that I think Tempo Mage does tend to struggle with is Shaman. But now with that out of the way here, what's really to stop Tempo Mage from Virtus.Pro to take over? The best matchup for compLexity remaining is the mirror, TJ.
Yeah, that's going to be really rough for them. And now let's go ahead and listen into compLexity and see how they want to deal with this early Acolyte of Pain.
Creative.
What do we do now? Is it ever polymorph on the Acolyte?
No.
I'll just play the girl. I'll just play the girl and pass.
Yeah, I think so. That's what we have to do. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's not amazing, but...
They just drew 1, 2, 3. And we just frostbolted. We can't do anything. I mean, I don't think frostbolting the girl is probably right, because when he can't develop a 3-drop plus remove or plus develop a spell, playing the sorceress here is also right because it contests both, and we can't use the coin here. If we use the coin, we don't even have a follow-up.
Yeah. I mean, the only turn we had a decision was that we could theoretically go for girl coin frostbolt, but I thought that was bad. Okay, I would just go with Barnes here. Stay on the curve.
We need to go Barnes, right?
Yeah.
We can. The polymorph doesn't even do it. No, it's just stupid.
Yeah, let's go Barnes.
Tonight, a tale of true terror.
Yeah, let's go.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I want to do it.
Oh wow, it's so bad.
It's terrible.
Okay, you want to just let them have this stuff?
Oh yeah, that's also true. So we are Kimbler's Acolyte.
We coin first and then we see.
Yeah.
We have to Arcane Blast the Acolyte probably, right? Yeah. We just have to hope it doesn't go double hit on the Acolyte. Now it even Arcane Blast the Worm.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
Not really. It's not what I call punished.
You punish 3 cards from the Acolyte. So you bump first with the Acolyte, then probably Drake.
Probably Drake, yeah.
You
No
bump
more
first.
Ragnaros from Barons.
You can still get the Emperor. But just with the Marin seems bad. So yeah, just bump Drake.
You're Drake.
Like Drake.
I like
the
Drake.
Emperor- Yeah.
Like, even if they just remove it, we can just go Barnes into Frostbound.
It can't be
I
Temple
mean,
Mage.
Drake is a pretty bad play overall.
It can be Tempo Mage.
Have to go somehow for the value game, but it's not even possible because we have one more card and more board.
I would just fireball the Drake.
What to do?
Yeah, we have to, right?
What to do?
Yeah.
When hit phase.
Yeah. It turns out 1, 2, 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I agree.
Man, JJ sounds really sad right now. That's poor JJ.
Maybe you should make a vlog about it.
Maybe he should. Maybe he should. Actually, he probably already has one about it.
Yeah, or like 70.
Oh, yeah.
Virtus.Pro can draw, and you heard compLexity talk about they need to win on the value game, and it's not happening. JJ's completely right on the money. They're behind in cards, behind on board, and right now Virtus.Pro can take it slow. They're not even necessarily rushing out their highest cost cards because they're really taking their time setting up some of these smaller minions and getting them to represent a threat. It does happen to line up a little poorly with the expected plays from your opponent, though. So, just if you play Emperor Thursday next turn, then your opponent will Firelance Portal directly onto it. And you're giving your opponent the opportunity to get value. This Flamewaker can also potentially clear the board, depending on the hits of the Arcane Blast. If you blast the Mana Worm, you have a pretty good chance to eliminate the board.
Yeah, and that could give compLexity some sign of hope, but the one thing is that Virtus.Pro's drawn like 5 more cards in there.
Yeah.
And this can come down to a value matchup, and they miss one of the missiles, which means that now this Flamewaker is going to be just vulnerable to attack plus a ping.
Yeah, or Firelance Portal itself, too. Firelance Portal is really strong. I actually kind of missed that because the discount really threw me off. I was thinking Emperor Thorsan originally, but because of that Flamewaker, you might just want to Portal it instead.
Yeah.
But usually, if you Firelance Portal first, you play into the other Firelance Portal. Oh, that's hilarious.
Grim Patron.
Grim Patron.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going to have to Firelance Portal, but that means they don't fit in a ping.
Right.
Which means that this Mana Worm is going to get into even more damage or potentially just trade into whatever they get out of the Firelance Portal.
Yeah, now you see the punishment for not being able to clear the Mana Worm with the Flamewaker shots, and now that Mana Worm's going to do 7 damage or more.
All right, now let's listen into compLexity and see what they're debating about on this turn.
We could also mirror image afterwards to play around track. Like, we already played one Flamewaker. I think we are planning to win with Rag and Potter, right, for now?
So you just hope he has low value stuff in his hand? I can see that.
Yeah, sure. Adam.
Runs out on me.
I don't see the Potter being good here.
Every line is just sucks. But
I mean, we have to do it, right? I mean,
do we not save them?
we need to do the images to play on drag, right? Yeah.
I don't think Rag is good into this.
I think Emperor and Talnos is
Isn't
much
Emperor
better.
just better?
Emperor is better.
Emperor and Talnos.
And Talnos?
I like both. Yeah. They play their own deck. Yeah, that's way better.
The only way you can lose is to rock, I think.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so we should play around that.
Yeah.
7-8.
Wow. When it rains, it pours for compLexity as their hopes in this game are starting to slip away as well. And they get a 3-3 on the Firelands portal. That's brutal.
Yeah.
See what Virtus.Pro gets from this. Well, Burgley Bully.
I
Not
mean,
the best.
realistically, almost anything they got off the Firelands portal that had up to 5 health was in danger because of the Arcane Blast and spell damage. But it hurts, you know, psychologically to just see a 3-3 up there and you're like, oh, man.
Man.
Virtus.Pro can just ignore it, too. I mean, they have the Frostbolt to guarantee clear. But what seems to be the case here from Virtus.Pro is they want to draw first.
Yeah.
See if it improves their hand at all. Like Arcane Missiles.
Yeah, Arcane Missiles works out, I think, a little bit better in this spot because you can get the benefit of the spell power and the Flame Waker. And easy full board clear here for them. And don't even need to trade in their minions. And now Rag's just bad. The board is super wide. Rag is almost useless. A torch.
Only play, though. It's their only play, and then Virtus.Pro sets up lethal, I think. If it hits the Flame Waker, they have 6 damage on board plus the 6 in hand. So that's gonna wrap it up here. Virtus.Pro is gonna go up 5-2 over compLexity and on match point.
Crazy. 5 wins in a row with the Tempo Mage. Not only keeping themselves ahead in the series, but also giving themselves their best possible shot to make it to those playoffs. And now compLexity's in trouble.
TJ, you might be right. I think Tempo Mage could be on the verge of coming out here as one of the best decks of the meta. You just look at how it's performing against a lot of the aggressive decks. It turns out it's really good at killing Pirate Warrior. It's good against killing Reno. It's pretty good against Jade because Jade takes a while to ramp up.
Turns out it's good in the mirror, too.
It turns out it's Tempo Mage wins in the mirror. So what are you going to really do against this deck? You're down to your last deck.
And what is their last deck? Warlock?
I believe it is Warlock.
It's Warlock. So
that is the worst matchup on paper.
Yeah, that is.
In theory. Now, of course, stats don't always tell the whole story. Stats always just kind of measure what people are feeling at that moment. Not to mention that it doesn't really account for user error nearly as much as theory does. But still, even no matter how much you can theory craft here, the bottom line is compLexity is in a terrible spot.
Yeah. Not looking good for them in this series.
Yeah.
Because even if they do manage to get through the Temple Mage, an incredibly difficult matchup, then they have to get through the rest of the decks that Virtus.Pro still has up, including Druid, which traditionally has pretty good matchups against Warlock. So it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them. And, you know, to be honest, I think that Virtus.Pro should be able to just close out the series with a win here.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, I think compLexity dropping the series, you said specifically that if Virtus.Pro wins, then that introduces the most interesting set of tie scenarios for people to watch tomorrow to see what happens.
Yeah, if compLexity were to win, then it would make the games tomorrow have less impact, or the game later to have less impact, because it would be one less team that was viable for the running.
Right.
But now, if Virtus.Pro were to win this series, then it means that every matchup tomorrow not only has implications for the teams playing, but also implications for the other teams in the series. Because teams need to win by a certain margin in order to either knock Virtus.Pro out or keep Virtus.Pro in.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, so you're rooting for Virtus.Pro, I see.
Well, I like both teams equally, Dan. I just like great Hearthstone.
Look at me in the eyes when you say that, TJ.
I did. Looked you right in the eyes when I said that. But it does introduce the most competitive shakeups to the equation as far as tiebreakers go. So, you know, anything that keeps me on the edge of my seat and brings us great Hearthstone. That's what I'm rooting for, Dan.
All right, well, compLexity keeps 2 in their opening hand. They have Doomsayer. They're going to really hope that Doomsayer goes off. Virtus.Pro has the Flame Waker and the Coin, which is very valuable. Throw away Blood Mage, get Blood Mage right back.
Blood Mage isn't too bad. It can just act as cycle. But you know, one thing about the Doomsayer is that it does delay Mountain Giant, which can have a lot of ramifications as far as the matchup goes.
So, you know, Virtus.Pro was really looking for Mana Worm, and if compLexity saw Mana Worm, they would instantly Doomsayer. But because they don't, then they can maybe take this a little bit slower in Life Tap. Let's see what they choose on turn 3, though.
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
because what is the other play? Just Doomsayer? But then we
and
can
you
never
have-
really play the Giant, right?
Yeah, I think if maybe just kind of also. Yeah, I figured heal is better and we also utilize a Giant. Yeah, I think it's fine, especially if they only have a 2-1, right?
You know what? I think we should go Doomsday into Peddler tap. I think it's better. We don't want to let them Flamewaker anyways. I think we should actually take this turn. I don't. I
Then
think
we can Giant on
now
turn 2.
that I think about it, tapping into Giant will they're never gonna let us do that. They will play something. It's gonna be annoying. We should take the
Yeah.
Doomsday while we can.
Yes, that's true.
Let's play Talons. Pass. Attack pass.
You play Talons. Bunny. I like cycling with Talons.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And then you go fast with that. To the...
Can we ever just drop Bran and Mistress? No, not. Oh, but Bran is too good, probably. This is pretty complicated, right?
I would go Peddler and then see what we get and then tap or Mistress.
And the Bran, not saving the Bran for Peddler is not good?
No, doesn't matter. I'm gonna move.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we take Imp and then Mistress and just play those two so we can PO next turn.
Yeah, I like it.
Side effects.
Yeah, go.
You are not the boss of me.
I mean, we don't. If we had a Reno, maybe we could take like also a different line or some more heal, but we probably can't be too slow here.
All right, I like how compLexity is keeping their composure even under significant pressure here, and I like what Crane's thinking. Really evaluating the plays and adapting to his hand, and he makes a really good point. If you had Reno, yeah, you can play a lot greedier, but you can't, so you have to respect what the Tempo Mage can do, and you don't want to get blown out at any chance.
Yeah. Great points being made. Virtus.Pro feels like they're the ones playing the control deck here because they have a full hand of stuff and just playing one threat per turn, whereas compLexity's going wide on board with a bunch of spells to protect these minions. A little bit awkward, especially considering Mountain Giant's not going to be played anytime soon.
You know, it's interesting to think about Tempo Mage when it gets past the early phase of the game and it doesn't establish any board control, because then it shifts from being tempo-oriented to combo-oriented, and it becomes, well, for lack of a better phrase, or for lack of a better comparison, it sometimes becomes a little bit like Freeze Mage. It just sets up like burn lethals all the time, and its entire, it just stalls on the board because it knows it loses the board, and then it just tries to win through damage and fireballs. Fireball, 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 fireball.
Well, this turn they have a little bit of an extra dynamic in hand going with Burgley Bully available. Oh man, this is risky. Oh, that was a very bold Dirty Rat.
Yeah.
Imagine if that had pulled Archmage Yetinitis.
Well, they could just trade to the Archmage with the blood.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. But now, this is awkward because they don't want to give a coin over because with the power overwhelming. Now let's go and listen into Virtus.Pro. A lot of options here. Let's see what they're going to go with.
Maybe Fireball.
I think I could agree with fireballing that.
I would also
But that trading with Elemental and just going face with Bully.
What really is Mistress of Mission? Oh,
Mistress, huh?
Mistress.
Yeah, and going with face with Bully.
I guess.
Play. Yeah, I like this play. Like Burger Bully. Yeah.
No, but
It's gonna give us-
no, we were double
Yeah,
traded.
Yeah, I think we just trading with Elemental. If they want to trade with Elemental, we're fine with that. If they don't, we're gonna have the Bully. They have to remove that one from the board.
Go.
I have no time for games.
Double trade and play ping and play Barnes.
I want
Incineration, we can just go.
The
We
most
can
safe
play
play,
Barnes.
I think.
Just go face. Need to go face if
I think
they don't
I
have.
like double trade and Barons.
Yeah, seems fine.
Just Barnes and just go face. How do we get punished by Shadow Flame, right? Wrath. But they're gonna get any good minions from the board. I think Barnes and just go in face. Like Barnes
I
and
think with this hand, I don't think we can lose.
time runs out on me.
Win the late
Yeah, I
game.
think
Okay,
you
yeah.
double trade ping and play Barnes.
Yeah, double trade to Barnes. Yeah. Just please give Emperor. First.
What did you get? No. Wow. Hippie, you're such a god.
Wow, that is a huge Barnes pull.
Listen, man.
Look at that hand.
Listen, man. People always say in tournaments you need to be good and lucky in order to go far. Dr. Hippie definitely had his fair share of good runs through Hearthstone Championship Tour last year, ending it in second place of the World Championship. And you can't do it without requiring some things to go your way. And Emperor Thaurissan off the Barnes, it's stuff like that, which that's what the deck is designed to do. It's supposed to have that. Anything that Barn hits is generally good. Flamewaker, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Antonidas, Ragnaros, or Emperor Thaurissan. You have so much variety. That just so happened to be exactly what Virtus.Pro was thinking. We said, well, we've drawn most of the other good stuff. The only thing that's super impactful is an Emperor Thaurissan. Just make sure you avoid the mana orbs and we're good.
Yeah. And the impact that has on the hand is actually incredible because they have a coin. They have double Flamewaker that are now reduced.
compLexity has to use Power Overwhelming here, but they finally get down an 8 attack minion. So this is the first time that compLexity's been able to threaten Tempo Mage significantly. Before a wide board of 2/2s, that's not really going to do much because Virtus.Pro can clear it through a lot of Flamewaker shenanigans. Now, though, Virtus.Pro's in a position where they have to make a little bit of a hard choice here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go with double Flamewaker Arcanilla. This is actually weird to me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this at all.
Because unless... Oh, well, they pick up Arcane Missiles, so that's pretty good.
Well, but 2 to the face. compLexity needs this to avoid the Mountain Giant at all costs. And...
Well, this is 7 missiles.
7 missiles coming out.
Oh. Oh, no.
Wow.
1 health
Huge
remaining.
moment. And Reno Jackson comes into the hand.
But what this does do is it sets up for, like, gives compLexity sort of an excuse to Shadow Flame, I guess.
They don't have to. They can just trade Shadow Bolt and play Imp Gank Boss and Life Tap.
Yeah, they can do that.
So it seems like that's a little bit of a better thing. And then they've cleared the Flamewakers, and all they have to make sure to do is to not die to any kind of burn or Ragnaros. Maybe that's something that they're considering. Maybe they have to save that Shadow Bolt for removal later on. This is actually a really important turn. Let's listen into compLexity.
What do we keep this Shadow Bolt?
It's not about keeping. It's we get 8 face damage. This Shadow Flame, we keep either this Bolt or the Shadow Flame. The Shadow Flame is good with pretty much nothing. Next turn, we go 6+.
Yeah, I would just go face and bolt as well. Shadow Flame as well.
We cannot combo them down anymore.
No, we have to go for Kazamikos.
But you still get 8 face damage. It's not irrelevant.
It's only if they
8
have
face damage.
board now, right?
Guess the Emperor ping face. Portal and ping into 1.
No,
But we're not afraid that
it's Rak or Emperor.
playing Emperor is
Do you like Portal?
But
I
wait,
don't like Portal.
if we will play Emperor, he's gonna get the Abyssal Enforcer. He's gonna play that
So
one.
maybe just play Rak.
But we'll play Portal, in Drake into Portal, so yeah, I like playing the Emperor. Remove from him. If he's gonna play
Then
the...
ping his thing.
What to do? What
I
to do?
don't think so. I think pink face.
Ping face.
Maybe it's not Abyssal. Who knows?
He's gonna remove. He can remove it with Siphon Soul, or he can remove it with the Potion. Both are fine for us. And then
Playing
we
Emperor
back.
for sure.
Yeah, it's Emperor.
Using pink. Pink
Wait.
correct?
Why not? Yeah, ping this is correct. Why? What did you think? Ping and where?
No,
2-4?
you were
Ping,
talking
if you
about...
ping the Dualitic super safe against Hellfire and such.
I mean, I don't want to play around lethal here. I want to go Emperor Bolt trade.
Is it even good? Yeah.
They might
What
have
else?
lethal, to be honest. Because
Yeah, it's not too unlikely.
yeah.
And do we ever go Brand, Fast, or Bold Pro yet? We have to also, like, we're running out of.
Yeah, but there's no line where we tap, right? The one thing. Really
So
want to
it's
play
either,
on.
what can we do? Brand, Fast, or Shadow Bolt? What about that?
Yeah. Like, they didn't play anything last turn, so...
We can also drop the Emperor, but I mean, if you die, double Fireball, Frostbolt, Torch. I would just, I think, yeah. It's fine.
All right, well, they're healing up, but how impactful is that really going to be with Virtus.Pro having a lot of these heavy hitters?
Yeah, they have Azure Drake,
Firelands Portal, Arcane Blast.
Firelands Portal. They also have Ragnaros Ping. They also have a lot of stuff going on. It's really interesting because some of these new mana values ends up really messing with complexity's calculations here, because Emperor discounted their hand twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like you want to remove the Brand Bronzebeard because it is a big threat, and it is a little bit of a costly card. You need to start getting out some of the higher expensive cards in your hand. Okay, Arcane Blast. I mean, you have Archmage Antonidas with Arcane Blast, too. That's something worth evaluating for the future.
I mean, if they use hard removal on Archmage Antonidas, then that means they don't have hard removal for Rag.
That is true.
So I like going with the Archmage Antonidas here because you're going to need multiple turns to draw into more cheap spells.
Right.
Yeah, but they're going to go with Firelands Portal.
Wow, okay.
So now they need to pick up spells because they don't have anything for Archmage Antonidas now. Finja!
LOL. There's no Murlocs in the deck, right?
No, none whatsoever. Well, they can start tapping now is the one good thing for compLexity because they do have the fallback of Reno. Faceless Shambler, not a great draw for them. Yeah. It's going to be very hard to activate considering Virtus.Pro is basically going to clear the board every turn. They're going to have to Reno and Faceless Shambler on the same turn if they want value, which means that they're going to have to forego a tap on the turn that they use Reno. So just bad situations all around, I feel.
All right, well, let's listen to Virtus.Pro. They could be coming up on the win soon here.
You go for Anton. Wait, 7.
Maybe just Anton, Frostbolt, Ping.
And Frostbolt, yeah. Like it.
Plays a lot into. How about Drake?
Yeah, like Drake. Yeah, I think Drake is better.
Like they have to basically.
Drake is worse because you're not going to be able to play anything else. Yeah, I like Antonidas and Frostbolt and Ping.
You require my assistance? Aha!
It's way more better in terms of mana efficiency. Because the next turn, if
I mean, the thing is, this has to get Twisting Nethered anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess.
Yeah. Okay, we got that one. And what then? We have to hope we have no burn at all.
We could play a 1-1. No.
No, we can't. We have to hope we have no burn at all. Yeah?
Yeah. So 1-1 doesn't even do anything.
Welcome to the United States, guys. Boy hippie. Awesome.
Kill him with rag. Nice. Going to the stage.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for the
GG,
game,
guys. GG.
Yeah, GG. So I guess Hippie is gonna be given the entry, right?
Of
I don't
course.
speak English.
Yeah, Hippie, go for the
I
entry.
don't speak English.
Wow, 6-0 for Tempo Mage. What could become one of the most important staples of the meta in 7.1. Definitely a good job there by Virtus.Pro, making sure to really evaluate their plays. That's a 6-0, the second time
crazy.
that Tempo Mage has swept a series in the Trinity Series.
Yeah, it's the first time that that one specific deck archetype has gotten all 6 wins in a series. It's been done once by Renal Lock, it's been done once by Murloc Paladin, and it was done once by
Tempo Mage.
Or Temple Mage. There was one more that was a 6-0 last week, I believe.
Oh, it was Rogue.
Rogue, yeah, it was Rogue. Or Rogue was very close. So Temple Mage gets 2, which is big for Virtus.Pro. Not only that they're able to get that morale boost, but also that opens up more possibilities for them to be able to make it to the playoffs. So big deal for them. compLexity, unfortunately, now they have to rely on either G2 or Luminosity losing their match in order for them to win, in order for them to make it. They have 2 opportunities still to make it to the playoffs, but that's a big win for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, and compLexity's destiny still looms in the balance. And we're going to keep updating you guys. TJ's taking diligent notes.
My giant sheet of potential outcomes for the playoffs. It's pretty crazy to see. But let's go and take a look at the standings now. With that loss for compLexity and the win for Virtus.Pro, that makes things really interesting because both those teams are now 4-3. Virtus.Pro has gone up to 35 game wins, so they've taken the lead. It's crazy to think at the beginning, Virtus.Pro started out the season, I believe, 0-3. And then compLexity started out 3-0.
Right.
And now they both finished 4-3. Crazy to think that the turnaround for those 2 teams was that large.
Yeah, and the important thing is the win differential. Remember we mentioned that compLexity, if they win 5 games, they guarantee it, because then Virtus.Pro would be the lowest seed at worst, or highest. The lowest seed would be Virtus.Pro, and they would come in at 4th at best. So they would at least have that ability to go +1 on them a game score.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. So this field has just been completely opened up, and I am really excited to see what's going to happen in the next few games here, TJ.
All right, well, we have a special treat for you guys. We're actually joined by Dr. Hippie for the interview. Hey, Dr.
Hey,
Hippie.
guys.
Hey, man.
Oh, TJ and Dr. Hippie.
Dr. Hippie XD. It's been a long time, man. So how much do you like Tempo Mage right now?
I really like it. I mean, I didn't got high rolled by Barons, but still good enough, I think.
I'd say it was good enough. Barnes was like one of the MVPs.
Only last game it was pretty decent, but
yeah,
the games before it was eh.
Well, you got a Flame Waker.
Yeah, Flame Waker was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty good. All right, so now you guys make it to the playoffs if
probably
LG lose. So if LG loses, you guys make it to the playoffs. Are you guys going to be watching that match and hoping that they lose?
Yeah, you're for sure watching it.
Yeah. How's the team doing right now? You guys have started off the season in a really bad spot as far as your record went, but now you guys turned it all around. Is your team communication feeling good? Do you guys feel good as a team?
Yeah, it definitely feels better than first week, but I don't think that we have perfect team communication right now. So we will do best. We will do our best next games in playoff, hopefully.
What are you most excited for about going to the playoffs if you guys make it? Should LG lose? What are you most excited for?
Probably you, TJ.
Whoa! I'm so excited, man. I'm so happy they answered that.
I'm actually kind of disappointed that he actually answered your questions instead of staring back at the webcam pretending like he didn't understand it.
Yeah, you should have just awkwardly acted like you didn't understand English and just stared at the camera, man.
Next time.
Next time.
Next
Okay.
time, all right.
We'll see.
Probably I will bring orange color as well.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Good stuff.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, man. Thanks, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys at the playoffs. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Always a delight to interview Dr. Iffy, especially for you, too.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny because he'll always say that he doesn't speak English. Always. Even if you ask him in English, do you speak English? He'll say no. You even heard him at the end there. He's like, I don't speak English. In English. He's great. But enough